I just noticed I was on mute. Sorry about that. Welcome to the Book Buzz Show. I'm your host, Cheryl Brooks. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And we've been on hiatus for a couple of months. And so it's good to be back. This is our first episode of the new season. Um, Also, if you could make sure to like the broadcast if you like what you see and hear, and also subscribe if you haven't already. Also, just to announce, in case you don't know, I am planning an in person conference for April 2025. It'll be April 11th and 12th. The 10th is for pre registration for anybody who comes in on the 10th. Early bird registration is open now. However, it will be ending soon on September 30th. So if you haven't already registered, be sure to secure your spot before the rate increases on October 1st. We have a great lineup already in store for you with lots of activities and panels and other things to look forward to. If you go out to the website, atasteofbooks.com, it'll have a list of things that we have planned. Of course, it's still early in the planning stages, so some things can change, but for the most part, that's what we have planned. And then you can check out the authors that we have on board. There are some others that I haven't put out there yet, but it'll give you a good idea of who we have. Okay, and back to tonight's show. We have a great show in store for you tonight. I've been wanting to talk to this author for a while. We will be speaking tonight with author Mel Dau about her book Mega Man. And this is something new that we're starting for this season. For the second segment, we are going to be giving our weekly, me and my co host tonight, we will be giving our weekly highlights. So be sure to stay for that. That should be a lot of fun as well. All right, and without further ado, I'll bring on tonight's guest, author Mel Dau, and my co-host for this evening, Katina Brown. All right. Welcome, ladies. All right, I'm excited
Hello.
to get into this. Let me just see who's out here so far. Hi, Myra.
Hi, Myra.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you. She's another one who helps me out every now and then as a co host. Uh, Thank you, Myra. She says she's glad that we're back. Looks like we have A. Kelly out here. Hello.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Sharon. Jennifer is saying hello. She said you're one of her favorites. Jennifer, I remember I was telling everybody about her Leota Clan series. Everybody I could think of, I was telling about that series because I enjoyed it so much. Really, really. Let's see. I know one of the ladies I told about it. She ended up reading your whole catalog.
I like that.
All right, and so we're going to get into it. For those who are new to you, can you tell us a little bit about your professional writing journey, how you got started?
Sure. So I believe it was 2018 or 17. I can't recall. So I think it was 2017. So to be honest with you, I never wanted to be a writer. It was not on my to-do list. I never thought I would be a writer. What happened was I was an avid reader.
Okay.
So the group on Facebook, Bookies. So Zatasha, who started that group, she was doing a short story contest.
Okay.
So she's like, "Hey Mel, can you write a short story?" So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." So literally it was that lackadaisical. I was like, "Yeah, whatever." So I wrote the short story, which was my first book, A Charleston Love Story, Kair and Pie. The first 2 chapters of that book was the short story.
Okay.
So I wrote the short story. Then she came back. She said, "Hey, so I'm not going to put you in the short story contest." And in my head, I'm like, "So you saying I can't write?" Like, that's how. She was like, "Well, no, I'm actually sourcing for a a publication company. I want to start me and a group of ladies starting a publication company. So we want you to be one of our signed authors. So I said, absolutely. So
Oh.
at the time, I'm an HR professional, this and the other, but behind the curtain, I had just lost my father, and I was actually in an active suicide plan.
Oh my
So
God.
in that, if she reached out to me on a Tuesday, by Friday I was already planning to be gone. I had did my will, figured out a way to do this thing so it don't look like suicide, so my baby can get the life insurance. I was planning. So somebody on Saja J ends up reaching out to me. I'm another author, and she says, "Hey, write 5 chapters. If you don't like it, we ain't gonna bother you no more." I was like, okay, because she's one of my faves. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's actually write something. So I wrote the first 5 chapters of Kaya and Pie, and I think it clicked in my head that, oh, wait a minute, like all this knowledge and wisdom that my dad gave me, I can give it to other people through these fictional characters. So I signed my contract March 30th, and my first book was released like April 18th.
Wow.
I love that. That's why I love asking authors about how they got started, because it varies so much how people got
It
started
does.
in.
So in
And
my
I
first
love
year
it.
of writing, I wrote 15 books because in my head, if I was writing, I wasn't thinking about killing myself.
Mm.
Eventually,
Mm.
I went back to my therapist, actually got back on my meds. I'm bipolar. I got back on my meds. I got back in therapy, and I was able to kind of manage my disorder properly. And now I realized, that's when I realized, oh, writing's like my purpose.
Right.
Oh, that's what's up.
I love
And that's
that.
what we're all looking for, right? Our purpose in life.
Our
Yes.
purpose.
Yes. Looks like we have a few more people. Hi, Erica. Thank you for joining us. Oh, she says AK says
Oh.
she's your Sora. Hi, Vera. Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us. Jennifer is saying she started at the beginning of your catalog and just had to reach out to you. Yes, yes, yes. She says she remember when I was telling everybody about the Leota clan too. Oh man, yeah, that
So
was one of my favorites.
that's how my journey started, and it's been great. Luckily, I've been blessed to have great publishers. I stayed I was on the Queens of Lit Presents for a short time, and then they made some business decisions, and then I moved over to Be Love, and I've been there ever since, and it's been
Okay,
amazing.
we've had a few of Beloved's authors on the show. Um,
Mhm.
Let me see. Monica Walter's been on here a few
Yeah,
times. Yeah.
I love her.
Love, yeah, love her, love her. She's coming to the conference too, so I'm happy to have her. Now, when you're deep in writing mode, what does a typical day look like for you?
So it changed recently. So I became a full-time author in March. So everything
Congratulations.
shifted. Like, I guess God was like, I'm gonna push you a little closer to your little purpose. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these corporate America people tell you that you laid off and give you some cushion. So and do what I say, and it's been a blessing. But now I work my writing day. Well, I try to work my writing day like a real. I still treat it like I enjoy it, but I treat it like it's very much a job still. So I still
Okay.
get up in the morning, go get my Starbucks, go eat my breakfast, sit down, have my little schedule, have my delivery dates.
Right.
So I still try to, because in my head, I still have that corporate America mindset. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, when they give you that deliverable, you got to have it by that date. And if you don't, you got to have a good reason why.
Right.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
kind of treat it like that. I'm doing a little better with my time because when before I was working and I worked remote, so I like literally the computer I'm talking to you on is my personal, and then my work computer's right here.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have like 5 monitors. Like I just gave them their laptop back, but I still have like I have monitors like here, here, here. So I was like, okay, so now I don't have to work. So then sometimes I get caught up with like I'm gonna run to the store, and the store run be like 2 hours. And that ain't what it's supposed to. Yeah, that happened.
So has the transition from working another full time job and now this is being your full time, has it been an easy transition?
So for me, I thank God that it has been, only because, and I'll be honest, I was, and this gonna sound weird, I listened to God and I did everything He told me to do. I was very concerned. I worked at HR, I made good money. I'm not gonna whatever, but I was
Mhm.
like, God, like I have bipolar, I need health insurance. Like
Mhm.
this ain't cheap.
Mhm.
That was where a lot of my anxiety was coming from. Oh my God, my bills. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. So luckily, I made good financial decisions while I was at work, as far as 401ks and
Okay.
stocks.
Mhm.
I was able to front load a lot of financial obligations so that I'd have a cushion. So let's just hypothetically say I have a bad month with writing, I'm still okay. I'm not like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I have my bills. So
That's
God
good. That's
provided.
smart.
Yeah, so I literally made like, okay, look, little girl, we gonna get away from corporate America, but I need you to don't see all this money and say, oh, money. No, you need to go ahead and pay this rent up 6 months. Get these. I ended up getting a car accident like a month and a half afterwards. Totaled my car. I was like, what?
Oh my
Ended up
goodness.
getting a better
Wow.
for the second car with the lease. Ended up paying the lease off up front. So everything just kind of fell in place, and now I can honestly say that I'm bringing in now between, because I do have some books that are self-published as well as under Be Love. So now God is blessed, and now I'm making more money than I made in my HR career.
Oh, that is a
That's
blessing. I love
So
amazing.
it.
I was
Love it.
like, wow, and I got the health insurance. Look, I don't care what they say about Obamacare. I'm all right with it.
Mm.
I love that. Erica is saying, oh, she said it's my fault. I'm addicted to Mel Dau's books. She got me with the Leota clan too. Started in the middle of the cruise and couldn't wait to reach land to buy the rest of them. I told y'all. As soon as I started reading, I'm like, y'all gotta read this. You gotta read it. You gotta
Mhm.
read it. And they've been on the Mel Dau train ever since.
Mhm.
Um, and everybody is telling you congratulations on becoming a full time.
It's an experience. It takes a lot of discipline and planning, especially financially. Just making sure that you're financially sound and budgeting and things like that. So a lot of that
Right.
goes into play. But I trust God. Like I had to. It was one of the biggest tests for me, as far because I go back and forth spiritually with the big G. So I'm like,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like a Megan that way. Like, look now.
Uh-huh.
But I was like, okay, if I'm gonna trust you, I'm gonna trust you. And trust me, I was out there, and people even to this day, people come in my LinkedIn inbox like, so are you still doing the writing thing? First of all, get out of my inbox. Well, we have a position that we think you would be amazing for. It's this, is that, and it's in the position, the
Okay.
captain. And I'd be
Mhm.
like, well, no, no, stay focused. So yeah,
Right.
it
Mhm.
I
just feels
love
good to
it.
work for myself, not have to worry about just working for myself and just being able to, oh, a book event, I can go. I don't have to request off.
Right, right.
That part.
Uh, Let me see. Sharon is saying it's Erica's fault that she got hooked.
Oh no.
She said, "Oh, you started with Mega Man, Sharon,
Mhm.
and had to start from the
Yeah.
beginning." Yeah, so she did the same thing with Monica Walters too.
Yeah.
She read one book and then she had to go back and
Uh,
redo the entire
Mhm.
series. I mean, the entire catalog. Okay, so this is what I started asking some of the romance authors. What is your go-to like book or movie when you're looking for a good romance?
Go to book or movie. So ironically, Monica Walters, as far as she got so many, that whole saga's a beast. Like she's like, I look up so much her when it comes to sagas. I'd be like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
that's the saga queen right there. Well, nobody do it like that.
Mhm.
I like so B Love was my favorite author before I signed to her. So when
Okay.
I left the other when I left when Queens of Lit kind of went disband, she asked, Natasha said, well, who would you want to be signed to? And I threw out B Love's name, like that lady's not gonna sign me, whatever. And when she was like, oh, so B said yes, she said just send her. I said, say what that? And that was the Love Spectrum. And I sent her the Love Spectrum, and she was like, "Yeah, I love to sign you." I was like, I called my brother, "You love us to
I love it.
sign me," because
That's
it was
awesome.
like, it was, you throw out, I always say we have not because we ask not. So it's one
Mm-hmm.
throw it out there. All she can do is tell me no, and I'm still just not going to be sad.
Right.
That's right.
And that's true. You have to
But
learn that too. All they can do is say no. And
yeah,
they can't.
but like be loved, and then I will say that I like my unhinged men romances. So for that, anything Siobhan Latrice, Latoya Nicole, Miss Lady P,
Okay.
um,
Mm-hmm.
she's fairly new though. Neat Mills, um, Cammy is a softer romance for me. So she's one of those people I go to if I want that little softer, not too much
Right.
softly, but but
Mm-hmm.
I'm so crazy. I like the stuff
So you
that you
like
can.
the unhinged ones?
I like the stuff you can do in books, but in real life, I'm gonna call the cops. I like
Do you have time for TV and movies?
ironically I do. I binge a lot, but as far as romance stuff, I don't. I binge a lot of documentaries, like serial killer documentaries or court documentaries. I go
I
through
All
love
these,
right.
documentaries too, though, but I stay away from the.
Yeah.
I can't stand the serial killer
and I think a lot of that can be a
documentaries.
part. I think a lot of that is a part of my like when I'm in a mania, I'll pick up on one thing, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to binge Big Bang Theory.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last month, I think I was on the Cosby Show. I bought the Cosby Show, all of the seasons, which was not cheap, and I binged the whole Cosby Show until I was like, I don't like it no more.
Yeah, we didn't got. I think we all have gotten a little spoiled with being able to binge an entire
Yeah.
Oh
season and stuff.
yeah.
Because if I see something where they said you have to wait for
Oh
another
Mm-mm.
episode,
yeah. Like, what?
It's a wrap.
The show's about to come on. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for about 4 months.
right?
Catch
Yeah.
up.
Same
Yeah.
here.
So yeah.
Vera is
So
saying, what
stuff
she
like
said, I
that.
read A Beautiful Mess
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
for a book club and now reading all the
Um,
books. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I read that one. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Yeah, that was under the
Um,
Washington Christensen Smith saga.
okay.
okay.
Jennifer is saying she's reading Latoya Nicole now. Love
Yeah,
Siobhan
I read it
Latrice and next
yesterday
year.
or day before yesterday.
Okay.
I finished Latoya Nicole yesterday, and I want to say I finished Siobhan Latrice this morning.
So you know what I love? I love that you're able to still read, enjoy reading, and write. Because
Mm-hmm.
some authors say they can't do both anymore.
Right.
They can't read anymore.
So
Um,
so what I do is I with my work schedule, I write up to a certain point and then I read at night. And then in
Mm.
between every project, I tell myself that I'm going to read at least 5 books before I start another project. But
okay.
these are and I can speed read, so I can read 5 books in a weekend.
Okay.
So for me, in like unless it's like a demon's dream, that might take me a little longer. But but generally but generally yeah, so that's how I'm able to keep reading, or I do audibles, and which is ironic for me. I just realized I can write and listen to an audible and not get
hmm
lines crossed.
Mm.
That's interesting, but in my mind actually it's probably not, because when I was working, writing, and watching TV all at the same time, so I was like, I guess whatever.
I do that.
Wow.
I just started getting into Audible. Well,
Mhm,
usually I do this text to speech,
mhm.
but I do that like when I'm doing other stuff. But when I'm like just sitting, I want to actually just read it.
Yeah, I have
But
an audible I'm dropping tomorrow. Willow's Peak audible drops tomorrow.
okay, love it,
Mhm.
love it. Now, what advice would you give to someone just starting out?
um I think one of the most important things when starting out as an author is to understand your why, because that will help you be less disgruntled if something happens that doesn't look favorable for you.
Right.
Um, and your why can change at any time. So are you writing because you want to make an impact? Are you writing because you want to make money? Are you writing because you want to make money and impact?
Right.
Like those, all three of those things look very different. From so for me, I write for myself and I share with others. Do I love making money? Yes, but that's not the major priority at this point. But do I still kind of follow some trends that I see
hmm
happening, as long as it goes within the authenticity of who I am?
Okay. Love it.
So if
Love it.
it's a trend that, if like for instance, there right now, and even maybe some months, there hits in my head, there was a dark romance trend kind of going on. That's not
Right.
authentic to me, so I'm not going to jump on that.
hmm
Like I'm not going to jump on that, but I'm gonna read it hard. But it just didn't. But there are some authors who can flow with the trends because that's marketing that
Right.
that you have to understand as an author. You have to realize it's a business, and
Right.
that's another thing. Once you're just not writing books, you have to be concerned with the business part of it too. Pay them taxes, girl.
Oh, you
Because
know what? You're the first one that actually said that on here, and that's important. You're right.
Mhm.
Uncle Sam will slap you real super hard, and it's disrespectful how he's like that. Them Kindle your royalties look real nice, but ain't no taxes taken out there. Pay
Oh,
them
they don't
taxes.
automatically take it out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Pay them taxes. Keep your expenses. I have a LLC, so I have Mel Dau Publications LLC. So I'm on it. My tax lady be like, "You doing your expenses, girl? I got them." So I have a spreadsheet on my phone. Anytime I spend, so I pull a spreadsheet automatically. I'm an Excel guru. It's all itemized, and I don't got time to play because Uncle Sam hit me one good time, and I was like, "Oh Jesus,
Mm.
So let me
No.
clean this up right now.
it ain't never gonna happen again." So yeah, that's just understanding. Once I realized, oh wait a minute, this is like a business, and I think I didn't
Mhm.
realize that until I was under Be Loved when she kind of emphasized that. That's when I was able to better handle myself on the marketing and learning my brand and
Right.
establishing a real brand, of who I am.
I love that because that's something that somebody coming into it needs to know. The business part of it, the tax part of it, the
Mhm.
health insurance part of it, all of it.
Yeah, you have to in the life insurance part of it, like all of that stuff. When I became
Mhm.
a full-time author, I don't have a 401k anymore in the company. I don't have life insurance, so I need to
Right.
establish all these things. I need to find a company to get me my 401k, or not even 401k at this point. It's something else, or a
Right.
Roth. What do I want to do? Do I want to put some money into some stocks? Do I want to? And those are financial decisions that I went to a financial planner for and said, "Hey, how are we going to do this?"
I love
You know,
it. Love it. Love it.
That's good.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the book and the characters for Mega Man. But for those who haven't read it yet, can you get like a brief overview of what it's about?
so Mega Man, Mega is a very funny
Yes,
individual.
he is.
It's basically about a man seeing what he wants and saying, "I don't care who, what, or where. That's gonna be mine." The big G has told me that's mine, so that I'm gonna move according to that. And that's like the shortest. Go through some trials. That's just
And
a
that's wait that's him in a nutshell. Yes.
yeah. Like, look, that's my.
Period.
You say that and you not what God has for me is for me, and
Mhm.
that's in a just. So yeah, that's making a jest.
Myra is asking, what genre are your books?
So most of my books are I go through, but most of my books are urban contemporary romance with a twist of informational drama.
And Myra, get her Leota Clan series. That's my favorite. So I haven't read the entire catalog, but so far that's my favorite. Although I love the Mega Man too, and I can't remember the other name of the other book I read, but it's still Leota Clan is still up there. But you know what I think I love that I love anything that's got a strong family. So
Yeah,
that was already speaking to me, and then I love that they have this unique profession in the
yeah,
family.
yeah. And I like writing about strong. Most of my book themes are strong family units, friendships, sisterhoods, brotherhoods, because
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important for us to see as a
Yes.
community that these things are real. Like they are really loyal out here like this. But
Mhm.
you find your people, it's
Right.
a wonderful thing.
Mhm.
Yes, most definitely. Jennifer is saying she loved Mega,
Mhm.
and Erica is saying Spectrum of Love is her number one fave.
Yeah,
I haven't read that one.
yeah. That was
It
my
was
first
one of yours though. Go ahead.
autism awareness book.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
Now I started one of them, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But it seemed like it was a little the subject matter. I think I wasn't in the right frame of mind at the time. It was about the heroine was like, I don't know if she was actually physically abused, but she was mistreated by her mother or something like that. Um,
Look, it could be
I
many.
can't think. You say all them blended, they blur. As a reader, I can understand because the same thing with me.
Like I had to
Yeah.
read my own
They
books.
start
Like,
to blend.
All right. So
Mhm.
okay. So Mega Man.
mhm.
So much.
Okay, he was hilarious. He was hilarious. Was that intentional to make him, make him both a badass and funny?
So again, and like, people think I'm crazy. I'm like, my characters really do talk to me. So that's just how he came. He was like, look, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're from Charleston, a lot of
Hmm.
Charleston men have his attitude.
Oh,
They're
really? Okay.
so his persona, even Ned's persona, Croy's persona, that's a lot of Charleston's men's attitude. Like they funny as hell, but they serious. Like they'll be talking about something so serious, and you be like, what? Like they say something that just totally throws you off, and they're serious, and you're like, but that's not generally how it's supposed to.
Right, right.
So, and I think that so I just kind of pulled on what I knew, and especially with a lot of the biblical references. That was my dad. So my dad used to be a pastor, and he
Okay, okay.
backslid like a pro. And so it was one of those situations where if I go to my dad for advice, my the advice would come out real heathenish, and then he'll slip on the Bible verse, and I'm like, but wait, 'cause like so like literally he'll be like, let me tell you something. You have for these boys to be riding on, and you from Charleston. You have for these boys to be riding on. You know what I'm saying? You what it makes sense? A wet ass in an empty purse. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Proverbs 31 says,
Right.
wait a minute, not Proverbs 30, the virtuous woman. Daddy, what? You just
And
told
that's just
me.
like how Mega was in the
You
book.
just told me not to be a broke
It
person.
was.
Now you telling me to be a virtuous woman? What? Literally, like he would flip in and out. I'm like, Proverbs 31, Proverbs 31. Yeah, don't like when I went to college. Your dad give you the speech. He literally said to me, he's about to get in the car and go with my mom. He said, "Look, baby, I'm proud of you. If I find out that you a hoe, I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna whoop your tail." Then he said, "But if I find out you a broke hoe, I'm gonna kill you."
uh-uh. Wait a minute. So if I ever visit Charleston, so I'll be forewarned about how to.
Because yeah, they're in Charleston. People are interesting people. The men folk in Charleston are very interesting. But
That is
my dad
funny.
saw a lot of mega was in my dad. That whole conflict of I have a relationship with God, but I
Hmm.
still got my struggles. And I
Yeah.
think that was the underlining thing in this book that I didn't even mean to happen.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like the way it came, I was like, oh, look at God trying to use me. I see you, God. But
Low key. Uh-oh.
because it was like relationship is so important, and as especially as the Black church community, we get wrapped up in the
Hmm.
religion around it, and
Yeah.
you forget, like, baby, your relationship gonna look different from my relationship. I
Right.
don't pray like you pray, but that doesn't mean
Hmm.
God is not hearing my prayer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just
Right.
different things. A lot of things that Mega came with that I was like, yeah, Mega ain't living. He back in my ear. After I finish this book I'm writing now, I'm gonna be back on him for this little
Okay.
that he wants. But again, I don't think it's a Christmas book. Like, dude, it's just a Christmas tree up. Like, that don't make it a Christmas book. That makes it a Christmas book.
Erica was saying the book that I was describing is she saw it says something
Oh, okay,
like
yeah,
Devil's Left.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Back off of here. Um, got a lot of people saying hello to you. Myra says she just got Mega Man. You're gonna love it, Myra. He's gonna
Love
have
it.
you. He's gonna have you
He's
laughing
Laughing
like crazy.
out loud.
and with this new book this Christmas book that he has me wanting to write, you're gonna see a different side of him that I'm like, you want to be that vulnerable, bro? He was like, yeah, man, they got
Okay.
to see it. They got to see the real, what will go on around here. I'm like,
Mhm.
Oh, I
okay.
cannot wait. I
It's,
cannot wait.
he's still funny. He's still whatever, but there's a little bit of when we was going through the outline, I was like, this kind of heavy, nigga. He was like, look, people got to know just because I'm, as he said, shits and giggles, stuff happens in my life.
Mhm.
I'm going to let people see.
um, Now I love the banter too between Mega and Ruth, because
Mhm.
Ruth, she was funny too, because she could not believe some of the stuff that just came out of his mouth,
Right.
and and I love that. Now it was kind of scary too, because I'm like, sometimes we romanticize the stuff in the romance world, but
Mm-hmm.
him calling her his wife from the beginning when they just
Right.
met, I
Yeah.
probably would have ran the other
Right.
way.
In real life? Oh no. Crazy. Like,
But he was
right.
Yeah.
I love that he was the perfect person for her, because everything that her crazy father,
Oh.
domineering father, was putting her through,
Hmm.
keeping her in this cage. She needed somebody
Mm-hmm.
strong to be able to
Hmm.
stand up to him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Katina, what were some standout moments for you in the book?
I mean, we talked about this yesterday or the other day. Was it yesterday? The other
It was a
day.
few days ago. Yeah, it was a few days ago.
When he when she said something out of her mouth, and he was like, "Who do you think you're talking to?" And he said, "We need to pray," and
Oh,
then
that was
grabbed
my
everybody's
favorite.
hands.
Look, well, let's pray. I didn't
That
talk
was
to
my
I didn't know
favorite
about this, so I need
scene.
some more guidance right now. Like, and then what was funny is, and what that part, what inspired that part was my dad used to always tell me, you have to be so strong in your faith that you're willing to drop at the drop of a dime and pray.
Right.
Hmm.
Where
Right.
you are, you in the middle of a situation, you got to be, you in the elevator, something happened. God, you got to be that strong in your faith. So that's where that part kind of came from. Like,
And
okay, let's pray. Come on, let's pray.
then the prayer itself was hilarious. He was like, "Help her, because she don't know who she talking to. You got to make it." But then I love the way he ended it with
Yes.
"Give her peace,"
Yes. And she
because
cried, and
everything
it
that
was
she's going
beautiful.
through. But I love,
Yeah.
because Ruth, she got in her she got pushed to her limit with her
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
father learning all this stuff,
Right,
everything coming at her, and then she went off on Meg, and that's when
right.
he was like,
It was
"Okay, we
like,
got to pray right
whoa,
now."
whoa.
Oh man.
That was
Erica
good.
said she screamed out loud.
He would look. I was like, Lord. I was like, please don't pray. And then everybody book, he want all his friends books. I was like, why you got to pray for everybody? You were just not the person I would call for a prayer.
Oh, she said she screamed out loud when Mega called his mama to roll up on
Yes,
the
Joy was
sneaky link.
it? Yeah.
But
His
look,
mama, yeah, his
that's
mama was
look,
not a joke
that's some
either.
of the look, that's some of the Charleston mamas I grew up with. I'm one of them. Like, look, but say what you will. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I don't need to know the story. You could be dead wrong. I'll talk to you about you being wrong, but in front of these people,
Right.
Mhm.
Loved it. Loved it. Let me see. Another favorite of mine was when he was told her to come so they could go buy her a damn car. He said, "Come on, so I can go buy you a damn car and some colorful underwear." And to put it in context, you all, she only wore white underwear
Yes,
because of her
yes.
father.
Oh my God.
So
That was
he was just hilarious to me, and it was.
another good one. What I like was when the dogs
Oh
um
yes,
took to
and you know
Ruth.
I'm a dog lover, Katina, so I love anything with
Yes.
dogs. So
And they listened to him, but not really.
they had a new queen. They had a queen in the house now.
right, right. And then
That
people
was
was like, and I'm like, outside of one of those dogs, only one of them, but the rest of those dogs, they were real Smurf names.
I
Oh yep, yep, yep.
I
Like people,
know.
there was more than one female Smurf, but people just don't know it. Like you got to know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
So
do
yeah,
you have a dog or dogs and
I grew up with dogs. I'm going to be getting a dog soon, hopefully, but I haven't had a dog. I want to say the last dog I had was around the time my father died, and I kind of went
Okay.
through this thing, and I ended up giving her away to a family because I just was not in the mental place to take care of her, and I haven't
Right.
had a dog since then. But I'm getting my house prepared because I'm like one of those different people. I'm like, I need to get me a kennel that has that looks like a table and Yeah, I want to be all happy with it. So I'm like, I'm
Like similar like Mega was with his dog. That's the way it
well, yeah,
was.
yeah. I need a whole situation for my babies. So, and then I'm like, I want a boy and a girl, so I can name the boy gentleman, and I can name the girl lady, so it'd be a gentleman and a lady.
Oh man. Oh
I
man.
love that.
I love the relationship too between Ruth and her mother.
Oh yeah.
Although I wish the mother would have stepped in,
Right.
sooner with the
Yeah.
father. But we saw another side of her when everything came, to the forefront.
Yeah.
But I love their relationship. And she had some shock moments about her mother as well.
Mhm.
Now with
Story.
the thing with the
Everybody.
father, they
Mhm.
said something about what he did to another family or something. Um, but then we didn't find out anymore as far as what
So,
what
because
there's
so he
background.
he ended up. So the girl, one of his baby's mother, not the girl who was at the church, but the other girl.
Right.
He tried to kill her. He
Right.
tried to have her killed. So that's kind of where Croy was like,
Right.
I know that person, but they didn't
Mhm.
take the case because they was like, you just want to off your baby mama? That's not what we
Right.
do here.
Right.
Oh
Right.
my
Right.
goodness. So
So
when I
so
first read that, I thought that's where it was gonna go, where in that
yeah.
direction.
No,
Mhm.
so, and that's where I kind of broke down. And I think through that saga, I give a lot of more insight to the Christensen enterprise. Which, if you started at my catalog at Mega Man, it will force you to go all the way back to the
Okay.
Mhm.
Christensen.
Okay.
And quite frankly, that was intentional for I want you to read about them and marketing reasons. So,
Mhm.
and it's hard for me to write. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard for me to write a book in Charleston, anywhere around there, with certain situations and not have a piece of Christensen's. Like I try so hard to leave them out. I don't want to put them in. No, I'm tired of it. It's just like it just kind of goes like it just that's just how it kind of goes.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
what's the first book in that series in the
In
Christian?
the Washington Christensen Smith is a Charleston love story, Kyir and Pie.
Okay.
So it's a two-part. And but if you look on my graphic, it shows the whole saga that's in line. And even if you go
Okay.
on my link tree, I have them in line. So if you want to link tree and go straight down, everything's in line of how you should read it. If you
Oh
Okay.
want.
All
wow.
right. Good.
Okay.
Um, Jennifer is saying she loved them.
Mhm. And that's a
Um,
big family. That family is I I like writing big families because
yes.
Mhm.
one, I like big family units, and two, quite frankly, just gives me a lot of content to be able to kind of give everybody their own individual story. If later on I want to come back, like the Washington
Right.
Chris Smiths, I don't wrote about them, their kids got kids now. So it's kind of like, and I told someone asked me recently, like, "Hey, can you write another book like about Kyir?" And I was like, "Baby, you do realize like they like in their 70s now. Technically, if we want to do get like in their 60s, 70s, like I said, if I write another book directly about them, somebody else gotta die. Oh, well, never
Mhm.
okay, because life is life. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Erica said she loved the OG crew.
Mhm.
Um, okay, now how did you come up with some of these names? Like Ruth called her vagina good stuff.
Look, y'all. I get tired of using the puss word. I be like, I got
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it.
so tired. So I like try to find little stuff. Like I think the book that I want to say the book that's my next release that's about to come out. I think she calls her thing a body flower. Like I just like random like I'll be writing and I'm like, what should I call it? Okay. And that's just what I come up with. Like whatever jazz
That's
it
true.
is, it's just kind of what. But I just really hate like always using that word.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Fine. So
I loved it because it was hilarious
Yeah.
for one thing, especially when he started using it.
right. So it's just kind of like like in my book Summer's House, she called hers a Care Bear.
Okay.
You know, it was just like, I try to as much. I don't like that word. Like, it's just not my favorite word. It may sound that was good
And
coming from
plus, you hear it, you read it all the time, so it's good
yeah.
to come up with different, yeah,
It
different stuff.
sounds good in the moment from a man, but it's like, okay, if I'm just randomly talking about it, I'm not just gonna be like,
Right.
"Man,
Yeah, that's true. That's
we're at
true.
brunch. We're at brunch. You can call me something else."
Right. Loved it. Loved it. Any more comments, Katina, before we end?
No, I think when you guys were talking about the what was it? I forget what you were talking about, but it made me think about one of the things I think that was I guess he felt was heartfelt about when she prayed for him
Mhm,
Oh yeah.
before he went out to take care of one of his
mhm.
Right.
jobs.
Right. His other
And I
job.
thought that was sweet. And it
Yeah.
took him by surprise. Like,
Right. I just love
It's
them
like, I know
together
I'm
because
it's
they.
one
I
of those things
loved
like,
it.
you know I'm doing wrong. I know technically I'm
right.
doing wrong, but you still gonna ask God for some of your
Right.
Mhm.
to, like, you know how
Right.
I say, if it was for your grandmama prayers that you still here.
Yeah.
And I believe that. So I think that's what that was for him. Like,
Hmm.
okay, she's covering me with her prayers because I
She
Right.
know
did.
my mama prayers carried me many.
Hmm.
I'm so happy that my mama prayed as much as she did.
Tell me about it. And I love the balance too, the way you balanced him out because he was not, just one way.
Mhm.
Um,
Hmm.
and even she
Hmm.
said in the story that she was surprised that he knew as many scriptures as he did.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What you trying to say?"
He was like, "Don't be jealous." Hold tight.
And it was funny because when I was writing that book, I had to like call one of my sisters who's a minister and talk to her. I'm like, hey, I need help. I was, I was like, okay, I'm writing this book and he's using this scripture in this context. Is that what it means? And even with the father distorting the word, I still
Right.
need to see what it really meant before I
Hmm.
can distort it. So I'm like,
Right.
so I'm sitting here, we'll end up being on the phone for like an hour, and I'll be like, God, did you just sneak a Bible study in on me? That's what you just did. And I was talking like 2, 3 times a week over scriptures for this book. And I'm
I
like,
believe it. I believe
God,
it.
because it'll start with that one scripture, and before you know,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's slipping in Bible studies. Like, I was like, God's sneaky now.
I loved it. And Ruby, I agree with you. They were the best couple. They complimented each other
Hmm.
for real.
Hmm.
But it was such a pleasure having you on and
Thank you for
discussing
having
this book. I know you said the Christmas book is coming up. Do you have anything else that you're working
me.
on that
Yeah.
you can talk about?
So tomorrow my Audible is coming out. Willow's Peak is dropping tomorrow, and then I have a cover release of a book that will be coming out. That's going to drop. So I have a cover reveal tomorrow for my next release that's going to be coming out at the beginning of October. So that'll
Okay.
be, and I'll let you know that's a paranormal.
Ah, is that your first
Nice.
foray into
So
Chris?
it is linked with the Lori's clan, but it is not. It's a cousin. So he's not in Washington. He's back where they originated from. So I'm
Okay, okay.
in North Carolina, but he's just these are just wolves.
And
Okay.
that's one of my favorite genres, so I'm there for it. So
Same,
I'll
same,
be
Yes, I
looking.
was
I'll be
excited
same.
when
looking up.
he came through. When he came through, I was like, "Oh, I write a little," And I guess I liked it because it was the Lorries, but it was different. Like those main Lorries aren't in this at all. It's just
Okay.
on this, but it's still, and so it's cool. It's really cool.
Now, how do
Yep,
you pronounce it? How you pronouncing the name?
his name is Thaddeus.
Now I'm talking about Lee. Leo. Am I pronouncing it right when I say
Yoda,
your
yeah,
name?
you are Yoda.
Okay, okay. I just want to make
Uh-huh.
sure. Let me see. Erica is saying she just need the link on the release date.
Okay, Erica, I see.
Yeah,
uh,
Facts.
yes, I'm there for it. I'm there for the Christmas one too because I love Christmas books for
yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
we usually do something in the group around Christmas time, so I'll make sure to have yours on the list.
Yeah, because I said I
Too.
don't normally write Christmas books. I don't know who said it. It might be somebody in here. They put I was like, I don't write Christmas books, and they put up a picture of my Christmas book, a Christmas sketch. And like, did Mega see this? I was like, really? Is that
Say yes, you do. All
Oh,
right. Well,
well,
thank you so much for coming
you're
on the
welcome.
show. It has
Yes,
been a pleasure, and I can't
Thank you
wait
for
absolute
to
having
pleasure.
talk again. Like I said, we'll get together and do a chat about the Leota clan.
me. Okay.
All
Hmm.
right. Enjoy the rest of your
Hmm.
evening.
Good
You too.
night.
All right, everyone. I hope you stay with us. We're going into the second segment where we are highlighting our book of the week. Um, one from me and one from Katina. And we're going to start doing this every week. Me and if I have a co-host on, and sometimes I'll bring in other readers as well. Um, but my highlight for the week is August by M. Monique, and August is let me see.
You found it.
August is August, I believe, is the fourth book in the summer series. Um, so if you haven't read the summer series, I highly recommend all of the books. I enjoyed every one of them. Um, and recently, August came out about one of the brothers, the youngest brother of Kingston, and I love the that it was a book about redemption and um, getting over guilt, over trauma. Of course, it was about love and romance. But I love the transformation because when we saw him in Kingston's book, he was immature and a hothead, and he wasn't appreciative of what his brother and his grandmother were doing. I mean, he was and he wasn't. He wasn't totally terrible, but you see the growth in this book with August, and I love the way him and his ex co-parent their son together. So it just gave me all, it hit everything for me, and I actually gave it a 5-star review, which I don't, I really,
Okay,
yeah, I rarely give
that's
5-star
rare.
review. Anybody who knows me know I don't really give those out. It has to be exceptional and hit like a lot of different things for me to give a 5-star. So
Hmm.
shout out to M Monique because she really did it with August. Erica, yeah, you're gonna love it. I don't know how far you are into it, but you're gonna love it. Uh, Jennifer, yes it was, yes it was, and you are the one who introduced me to the first book with Gray. So thank you for that.
Okay.
Um, because I love the entire series. You remember how much I was telling you I love Kingston. So, but now August, I don't know. He didn't moved up on the book bay chart for me. um, what about you, Katina? What's your highlight this week?
This week, I was one of the things I've been doing is just like a low key plug for the book conference and in April. But what I started to do is read books by some of the authors that I haven't read before. And a lot of people probably have read them over and over again. But the one that I picked up, I started with Joy Avery because I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't read anything by her before. And I read the whole series, uh, the Honey Hill series,
Right, the Honey Hill series.
Honey Hill. But my favorite out of all of them was book, was it three? Book three. And
Yes.
it was Happy and Sebastian were
Yes.
the I guess the heroine and the hit whatever. But I just love how stand up he was with Happy and both of them being like, waking up in Vegas in a situation
Mm-hmm.
that that
Yes,
they tried
and
to fix,
yes, and it
but
was a
not
small town,
really.
so I love that too.
Yeah, small town. I love like the family, of course, the family relationships. What you call the side characters, that that played a big part in the whole like of them coming together with their love story. I love the children, or should I say, the child. It was really one, and he was hilarious
Right.
throughout the whole entire series.
Yeah, that's one
I
of my
loved
favorites
it.
too.
Yeah, it's so heartfelt. And they were mature people.
Mm-hmm.
and I like that. It was some games, but not serious like those ones that irritate you. It was, they were, adults about it. And I
Yes,
love that.
and she did a great job. Actually, I had her on the show, and we talked about that book that you just
Mm-hmm.
that is your highlight,
Yeah,
and we had a great time because the book was so good, and we were laughing the entire the entire
it's funny.
time.
Yeah.
And I still need to go back and read the first two because I was telling her, I told her on the show that Enemies
Mm-hmm.
to Lovers is probably my least favorite because I know she was saying one of them was a Enemies to Lovers, but
It
I told her I was gonna
was.
try it.
It was.
um, but yeah, I love that book as well.
It was good.
Let's
It was
see.
good. Yeah.
Um, Right, Erica, I agree. Her writing is good, and she definitely is. Love her, and she's actually one of the authors at the conference too.
She
So
is.
I love having her on board. And
Yes.
let's see, Ruby is saying she agreed with you, Erica.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so this is going to start being a every week I'm gonna do a highlight for the week,
Mm-hmm.
separate from what the author that we're talking to. So, um, and you all
Mm-hmm.
too, if you have a weekly highlight and you're in the audience, share your weekly highlight as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, if you haven't read August though, make sure to check it out. Check out the books, the other three books in the series. I believe this is book four, because they're just as good. And check out the Honey Hill series. Look like many of you have already read the series,
It sounds like it.
um,
Yeah.
but all very good books. And like I said, I don't give out fives very often. So if I gave it a five, it was hitting on all cylinders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yes, Sharon, tell you
And Monique.
you have to read Monique. Her stuff is so good. Um, yeah, Jennifer put me on to her a while back, and I've been hooked ever since.
How big is
So
her catalog?
I'm not sure. Jennifer, how big is Monique's catalog? Um, but just like you did with Monica Walters, Sharon, once you read one of her books, you're gonna want to check out her entire catalog. Yep, you're gonna love it. So
Mm-hmm.
that is, let me see. Did Jennifer answer? Jennifer is saying you won't be disappointed, Sharon. She has a vast catalog. I don't know offhand how big
Okay.
it is, but yeah, but you can't go wrong with this. If I was suggest starting with this series because that's the one I started with. I'm trying to think. Is this one I started with? I think it's the one I started with.
Okay.
The
Okay.
summer series. Yeah, Jennifer says she has a lot.
That's enough. Okay.
Yeah, she has a lot of them. And Ruby is saying, "Oh, you haven't read anything by her yet? You should
Me
check her out.
neither.
You should check her out, Ruby. She's very good writer."
me and me and Ruby about to go in.
Jennifer
About
says
to
she
go
took some
in.
downtime because she went indie. Oh, okay, yeah, because I know it took
Okay.
a while for her to put August out after Kingston. So yeah, and she's been on the show a couple of times. So if you haven't watched her on the show, please go
Right.
back and check out the episodes. I believe Jennifer was
Mhm.
my co-host on both of them. But
Mhm.
because we talked about another one of her books too, besides the summer series, that was
Okay.
really good.
Okay.
Um, Erica said she took some time to revamp them. A Thug Has Feelings too is her first book. Okay, I don't think I know I didn't read that, so I need to
Hmm.
check it out.
Okay.
And then Jennifer said she started with Painlessly in Love of her books. Oh, that's what it was. Was that what we talked about, Jennifer Still Waters, when she was on the
Oh.
show? I think it was. Yeah, Still Waters. That's
Hmm.
another. Those two books were really good too. So
Okay.
y'all should check
Okay.
that out.
Okay.
Um, she's a very good writer. You can't go wrong. And same with who else did we discuss? Oh, our who we had on tonight, Mel Dau. If you haven't read her stuff, check her out as well. I still haven't read all of her catalog, Like I said, I started with the Leota clan and fell in love with them. So I was telling everybody about them. So if you haven't read that yet, I suggest you read that. You won't be disappointed. And then, of course, the
Mm-hmm.
one we talked about tonight, Mega Man. But it seemed like a lot of you already read that. But
Yeah.
anyone who's watching or listening on the replay or listening later, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend that as well as the other two highlights that we talked about today. All
Mm-hmm.
right, everyone. I'll see everyone next week. Me and Katina. Katina is co-hosting next week as well,
Okay.
and we're gonna be talking to Cynthia Williams
Yes.
about her book.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you can join us next week, Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
everyone. Have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night.